Happy New Year from Doug and Lynn Marie Galt. It's wonderful to come into the year 2021 with you, having shared life with you up and down and all around this last year, and just knowing that we're just going to continue to share life with each other. I really appreciate all of you. I do know that some of you have gone through a very hard time in this last year and have had some significant losses in your life. And so I want to say to you that I will continue to pray for you. I understand that God can comfort and heal you as only He can do. And that is what I am praying He will do for you as you continue to process some of the things that you've gone through this last year. Now, as I share with all of you today, I feel like one of the things that God has put on my heart is that we are to be revived in Him. And I know that many of us came out of this last year feeling lethargic and uninspired, but I want to say, Lord, please revive me today. That's what I want to say, and I want to say that on your behalf as well. Now, when I look at the definitions for revive, some of those include keep me alive, bring back, return to consciousness or life, become active of flourishing again, recharge, resuscitate, rejuvenate, restore from a depressed or inactive state. Now, the passage that I use is Psalm 119, the longest chapter in the Bible. This is the passage I use as my go-to place for fortifying and replenishing me, just so you know. Sometimes the psalmist combines prayers with professions of devotion to God. And I think any time that we fix our eyes on God and His character, He will eclipse the darkness. He will give you restored life and perspective again. God can bring beauty out of ashes. He can give you fresh starts, new chances, new beginnings. Now, while the focus is on God and His words of hope in Psalm 119, there are a number of strengthening themes as well. Several months ago, I gave a looking up on Psalm 25 with an emphasis on the repeated phrase, Lord, let me not be ashamed. And that is a phrase you will often find in Psalm 119. But another theme, which is really huge for me right now, is this idea of revival, of God reviving us. And God's words bring life to my spirit. And my spirit is so desperately in need of His Spirit to breathe life into me. So this word revive, let me read to you some of the scriptures from Psalm 119. In verse 25, it says, revive me according to thy word. Verse 90 says, thy faithfulness continues through all generations. Thy word has revived me. It's His words that breathe life into us. When we first were created, He's the one who breathes life into us. I often think of a little baby when little newborn baby, when they've just come out of their mother's womb, all of a sudden there's this huge that child has. First thing, it's like God is like breathing life into this new creation. Verse 90 says, thy faithfulness continues throughout all generations. Thy word has revived me. So His faithfulness has continued through all generations. That means He was faithful back then for other people. He's faithful for people in the future. And He is faithful for us now. His words are words of truth and life and wisdom and grace. He is the one who can show us the way through the wilderness if we follow Him. Verse 49 and 50, thy word has quickened or revived me. Verse 161, my heart stands in awe of thy word. That just grabs my attention because when He says stuff to us, it really is stuff that matters. He knows how we're wired. He knows what we need to hear from Him. And He's the one who breathes life into us. And when He shares things about Himself, I just have to go, wow. To have even a glimpse of His glory stimulates my revival in my spirit and helps me have awe in Him. Verse 30 says, turn my eyes away from looking at vanity and revive me in thy ways. You know, the one thing that could suck the life out of us is vanity. Those things that are meaningless and that are not eternal. Those things that are cheap and just not worth spending a lot of time looking at. Lord, help us. Revive us in our ways by helping us look at you instead of at vanity. Verse 88, 76, 2. Revive me according to thy loving kindness. Oh, may thy loving kindness comfort me. And then verse 123, lift up my eyes. From there comes my help. From the Lord comes my help. Verse 55, I remember thy name in the night. I remember his name in the night. I remember his words. I remember his singing over me, as it talks about in Zephaniah. You know, there is a philosopher back in the 1960s that had a number of really interesting and inspirational type maxims or philosophies that he shared with people. And I definitely don't agree with all of these, but there was one thing that this man, Francois Rochefoucauld, said. He said this: what gains and sustains our attention will ultimately change our lives. And then even in Psalm 119 and 116, it says, sustain me according to thy word that I may live. Sustain me, sustain me. Oh my goodness. What is gaining and sustaining your attention right now? It's who you're going to become. It's who you're going to become. If you are focused on looking at all of the negativity out there, if you are focused on a lot of the negative thinking and ways of kind of putting other people down or any of those things, if you are looking at anything, even if it seems really powerful or righteous or whatever, in the end of the day, keep your eyes fixed on Jesus. What gains and sustains your attention will ultimately change your life. What, or rather who, is going to gain and sustain your attention in 2021? Who or what you fix your lives, your eyes on in 2021 will make all the difference in your life. Happy New Year.